Hi everyone. So today's actually a really big, momentous, important video for me to release today because it is going to be the start of many to come that I have been bursting for years to share. But I thought, oh, I don't think I can do this because I need to be a video editor, I need to have content, I need to be planned, I need to be prepared, and and I've just used the word because now I've decided, like, in the beauty of that being a perfect video, there's a lack of authenticity, right? So I thought, what's better is just put myself out there, total risk, and if it doesn't work out, then I'm sorry, and if it does, then I'll be super happy. But at the end of the day, I thought my biggest passion in life is being a teacher, imparting philosophies, ideas, realizations, maybe help people get to a point of resolution at different aspects of their life. And if I've been basically holding that back because of fear or insecurity that it's not going to be right or good enough, that in my own self is a lesson that I've had to learn. So I thought, I've received a lot of signs in the last few days that I just need to just do it. And I know at the end of the day, this message will get out to the right person or the right people, and hopefully I can bring a teaching or a lesson into your life, because in part of the law of exchange, the yin and the yang, with always balance of give and receive, as much as I want to give and give and give, the beauty of that you are healing yourself or rewarding yourself or fulfilling your purpose is so rewarding for me. So it works out really well. So I'm just taking a huge leap of faith, and hopefully you'll resonate with that, where you'll see me making mistakes, you'll see me slurring, you'll see me slipping up, you'll even see me going blank. So hopefully that will be okay. But really at the end of the day, I'm just bursting with philosophies and ideas and concepts that I think are kind of out there already. And even with those things, I want to add a unique twist on it, or my own thoughts to the matter. But there's even concepts that I think that I genuinely have come up with or think about that are not really thought about out there. And I really want to bring these to people and really give them something to chew on or to think about, a food for thought, so to speak. So basically this is the whole thing. So it's quite a big step for me today, one of the many videos that I want to do. And how often will I release them, I don't know. I mean, I'm bursting with ideas on a daily basis, but due to practicality in human life, can I always just step aside and do a video and then I'll submit it? I don't know, but I will do my best. And even if you need me to talk about stuff and stuff like that, I'd be so grateful to subscribe and do all the blah that everyone likes you to do, because fundamentally at the end of the day, I just want to help the world. I just really want to help the world, and one person at a time, groups, masses, and where will I be in 30 years time, I don't know, but hopefully I would have been able to touch a few lives, and when I die, I will feel somewhat that I've done my purpose, which is helping others, being of service. Anyway, so massive side note. So point of today's video is I want to talk about a concept, because I'm doing a meditation Buddhist retreat at the moment, and the idea of this big indulgent Western society thought, or ego of the I. And I came up with a really good title, which I think, hopefully, like, I'm going to be an inventor or someone who comes up and coins terms, because I come up with really creative, strange ways that I'd like to say things or give analogies or ideas to. But the title for today's video that I came up with is what I call the mistaken identity. So, of course, I'm raised in the Western culture, and as many of us are, we are just, I would say, basically forced or intoxicated, or without even an opportunity to have the space to even just think about what it is. You're just being shoveled down with, like, an identity, Like, as soon as you're born, you've got a name, you've got a social security number or an ID number, you're being told who you are, you're being told what your race is, you're being told where you live, you're being told what class you are. And that's giving you a sense of an ego. In essence, boiling down, a sense of an I am. But in Eastern philosophies and in Buddhist philosophy and belief system, there is no such thing. And they say, as a result of this self-imposed concept of an I, we are just basically putting ourselves in a booby trap. In summary, in a booby trap of the idea that by having an ego and having this I identity, we are bringing suffering into our lives just by default. As a result of that, we are bringing suffering into our lives. And the whole idea is that an identity is an association with the body, it's association with the mind. And if you do see in Eastern cultures or Eastern philosophies, such as gurus, even a famous guru that I used to follow many years ago called Sadhguru, one of his mantras in meditation would be like, you have to repeat, I am not the body, I'm not the mind. I am not the body, I'm not the mind. Because when we have this identity, we're trying to identify ourselves with the body. Like, this is how I look like. This is who I am. This is my personality. This is my thought processes. This is me. Even I've just caught myself a few times just talking about the I. And I think the whole point or the whole purpose is that we need to dissolve that as much as possible while attaining enlightenment as much as possible in the given life we have been incarnated into. Because by doing that, by bringing good karma and more realization and basically waking up from this sleep state in samsara that we're in, we can then, as a result, improve for future countless lives, right? Whole goal is not necessarily for this life, it's even deeper, it's about future lives. If you believe in reincarnation, that of course, but I definitely do. So that's what I'm going to go on about. But at the end of the day, the ego is a really, really tricky concept, because when we are ingrained and we are raised in a belief system, and I always say to people, the hardest thing to change in your life is your belief system. Because if you're raised your whole life being told, this is X, this is X, this is X, and then somebody comes a few years later and just goes, I'm sorry, but that is Y. And you think, that is X. And he said, no, but that is Y. And then you say to yourself, no, that's X. And he says to you, and he poses to you to start making you think, why is it X? Do you believe it's X? Do you have reason to believe it's X? Or is it just you've been told it's X and have you actually used that skill of self-thought and self-application? And really, probably 9 times out of 10, we're going to say no. We haven't really thought about it. We've just been raised to believe it is. And that's basically the identification. We've just been raised to the I am. And now I imagine it like a beautiful rose, that all of the petals are all these layers of identity we have. And the whole goal in life is really to start stripping away each petal or each layer, so we can really come back down to who we are at our core essence, or at the center bit, and figure out that in the end, where all of these ideas and concepts and belief systems and identity has come from is from a place of emptiness, where everything began. I know it's quite deep, but it just makes so much sense, right? We started from an emptiness, a nothingness, and then we've added on many, many, many layers. And the beauty is born into the human life is we got all of these layers where we started from a nothingness, and then we work a whole life trying to get back to the essence of it. And you just think, well, gosh, why do we have to do all that work? And the question is good, but at the end of the day, why you were born into human life is lessons, lessons, lessons. That's what you're here for. You're here to do lessons. And each future life that you incarnate in, you're just getting better and better and better. So that is why it's important to do practices, to do meditation, to work on yourself as much as you can, to bring good karma, to do good dharma, to basically allow positive law of attraction and energy into your life, that it can really sustain you into the thread of all of your future countless lives. So it's quite interesting. But I do want to talk about the concept of law of attraction. I mean, most people term it, use it, throw it around, maybe not even heard of it before, but it's but I always say it's like invisible spaghetti strings, like that's just coming out of you. When you think of something, you're putting out the thought, out the energetic attraction. So whether you're thinking good thoughts, that's what you're going to attract. I'm sure I've had in my life many times where something was happening and all I ever thought was positives, like the negative of the situation or the risk of the situation just never even occurred into my brain. And actually what ended up happening, everything went perfectly. So there was a lack of negativity or self-doubt or fear, lower vibrational emotions or thoughts, and then everything went well. But equally, if you're thinking negative things or you're worrying about something or something could go wrong, you're putting that invisible spaghetti string out there, and that's what you're attracting back to. Right. And that's the same thing with identity. Like your name, your title, your status, your material wealth or value, the clothes you're putting out a statement, right? You're putting out this thing and you're attracting this identity. And then you surround yourself with other people like that, and then you end up getting stuck in a bubble of ego. And it's all about trying to actually step back and work yourself back to go, okay, cool, who am I at my core essence? And knowing that I am nobody, which may be a tough pill to swallow for many when you hear that, just to say, I am a nobody, I am nothingness. I come from a place of no existence, emptiness, where it all began, just dark. So we shouldn't have anything like the ego, arrogance, feeling better than others. It's just silly concepts that we've learned here, but actually don't mean anything. And really, that is what I believe practices are about when we do meditation, is really learning to be still with oneself, that there will be like a spark of that inner core essence just speaking to you, reminding you like a faint, subtle whisper, just saying, who are you really? Do those clothes matter? Does that title matter? Does that, materialistic wealth matter? Does having new clothes or shoes or watches or the best of this or cars or houses, does that really matter? And when you start to listen more and more by doing more practice, you'll start to really question yourself, and then you'll start to peel back layers, right? And that's why you can see these beautiful people who have everything do such a massive transformation, because really materiality in life is unfulfilling. It's more often than not you hear people who are at the top, who have everything, who are the most unhappy. But you'll go to a country like India where people are sleeping on the floor, having almost nothing, and eating maybe once every couple of days, something like that, who are truly happy, because happiness comes from within, not externally, right? And again, I feel it's a very Western condition that we've been ingrained through society, that materiality brings happiness. But when you have all of that, you realize that's not a truth, because most people, I think, who fall just under wealth or under the rich class or, working class, they've got this like chasing dream that they're like, I'll get to the top, I'll be happy. And then they spend their whole life overworking and killing themselves to try and attain this, this grasping this concept of something that doesn't actually exist. But they don't ever get to the top to know that actually it was just a false truth. But the people who are at the top realize it is a false truth and they're really unhappy, and then that's how they do the shift, right? So the idea is just to work from within, finding who you are within, And that means tuning into your inner voice, whether that people use like your inner child, or maybe if you're psychic enough or have intuition, listening to guidance from your spirit guides or any other spirits that work alongside you who are here to help you. But at the end of the day, it's just going within, and stripping away that I. And I think a really, really good exercise, which I think is quite fun to do, is try to catch yourself how many times you are using the word I in a sentence just in a day, all right? And even trying to see how you can substitute not using that, whether it's just like changing or enhancing the sentence to paraphrase it that it doesn't have I in it. And see actually how much you are identifying yourself with things, with it's your career, with it's your personality, with it's your look. I think you would surprise yourself in a bad way. You'd be like, ooh, kind of like a swear jar, but for let's call it the ego jar, and see sort of where you catch yourself. And then with that new profound awareness, because that's what we need. The first step towards any change or healing is awareness. And with that awareness, then you can start to peel back slowly. And even if, like I say to all the people I work with, even if it's 1% progress is progress, because you're still 1% better than who you were before. And that counts, right? Sometimes you make a lot of progress, we go back, but still you're much better than where you were before. So I think I'll leave it on that note. I don't know how deep this is, or if it's profound, or if it's completely stupid, but I just thought this was quite, for me, an enlightening subject that I wanted to discuss. So, the mistaken identity. We're trying to identify ourselves as something, but at the end of the day, the realization is that we need to get past all of these ordinary concepts and appearances that we're making, just throwing it all away and just realizing that we start from emptiness, we start from within, and that has no shape or form. You need to find who you are at your subtle form or your subtle energy level, because that's what we really are. We're just an energy at the end of the day. And we'll take it from there. Okay, lots of love. Peace out. Yeah, bye.